The U.S. hit North Korea with fresh sanctions on Thursday after the South Korean military said Pyongyang fired off 2 short-range missiles. The Treasury Department said it had targeted 2 China-based North Korean nationals it accused of helping obtain materials for Pyongyang's ballistic missile program.
So we will continue to take action to hold people accountable for such activities.
Japan's prime minister said the North Korean missiles landed in Japanese waters and said there were no reports of injuries. The reported launches came as South Korea staged military drills. Pyongyang had warned the exercises would be met with an inevitable response. U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller condemned the actions by North Korea, or DPRK.
These launches are a clear violation of multiple UN Security Council resolutions. They demonstrate the threat of DPRK's unlawful weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs posed to the region, to international peace and security, and to the global non-proliferation regime.
This comes as U.S. President Joe Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan was in Tokyo for meetings with his Japanese and South Korean counterparts. They discussed North Korea's missile program and confirmed they would work closely together to get Pyongyang to abandon its nuclear weapons. That's according to a Japanese readout of their meeting.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.
And there they go. It looks
like the US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1. The Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.